Come to a tabletop position, stepping the hands as far forward beyond the shoulders as feels good for you right now, keeping the hips over the knees, and we'll begin maybe with the eyes closed, just with the breath, letting that be the first movement. Maybe even starting, if it feels like you need it, with a nice deep breath in, and even an audible exhale, just releasing any tension that maybe you're holding on to that you don't need right here in this tabletop position. Just breathing nice and smoothly, finding that sense of power that comes with softness. Maybe just taking a moment really quickly to notice where right here, right now, you've got power, you've got control, and what things you can surrender, what things you just can't control and never will be able to. And with that in mind, we can begin with a little bit of movement, maybe just starting with some gentle cat-cows, inhaling to a cow pose, maybe bending the elbows, pressing the elbows back towards the knees as you lift the crown of the head high, the tailbone high, and then exhale into your cat. Rounding through the spine, bringing the chin to the chest, pointing the sit bones down towards the knees. And moving through those two postures at your own pace, pausing along the way perhaps, remembering that the transition between the two postures is just as powerful as the postures themselves. And if you like, as you next move into your cat pose, maybe do it with the toes tucked under and sink back your hips over your heels, coming into more of a child's pose, crawling the hands forward to get a little stretch through the shoulders and arms, keeping your gaze forward towards your thumbs. So as you rise up through that cat pose, you can wave your spine, roll the shoulders, pressing the hips and sit bones down and forward into a little cobra pose, and then take it back to your cow pose and into that child's pose, rounding the spine, opening up through the armpits, lifting up to your cat, and then pressing the hips, rolling the shoulders, waving the spine into a back bend, and put that on repeat for the next few breaths. Moving with your breath. And adding any other movements that feel right for you right now. Remember, I'm always just a guide. I'm just here to give you some suggestions. Your body is your ultimate guru. All right, and we're gonna pause back in that tabletop position and slide your left foot back behind you, toes tucked under, and press your heel as far back as you can and bring your mind to your left ankle. And what we're aiming to do is really open up along the back of that left ankle, stretching the Achilles tendon. And so maybe you dig your toes gently into the mat a little bit more, or the floor. Maybe you even think about pulling your toes towards your shin. So even if you're feeling this like in the bottom of your foot, in your calves, or elsewhere, just think about this little stretch being particularly about your ankle and opening up the back of your ankle. Continue to breathe and just look for that sort of 30% sensation in your stretch. Good. Rock back forward, lift the left leg up, crawl the hands forward and lower your hips and belly down to the mat. Pull your left heel to your butt. And you can just stay here with your arms, kind of your hands under your shoulders, propping yourself up. You can always reach back there for that left ankle as well, but try to use a little bit of your hamstring muscles to pull your left heel to your bum. And you're invited here just to bring your chin to your chest and then kind of roll your head over towards the right. And you can kind of just do a little quarter circle of the neck here if that feels nice. But bringing your awareness to that left hip, just trying to think about opening up through the front of the left hip
without the spine necessarily doing the work. And you can maybe pause with your head over towards the right. Press your left shoulder away from the ear. Continuing to breathe. Good. And then just take your hands under your elbows, tuck the right toes under, and lift up to a single leg tabletop position. And can you just give me a few nice big circles of that left ankle while it's back there behind you? And here you're allowed, I'm going to allow you to do it. That's a joke because, like I said, I'm just kind of giving you some suggestions. But you're welcome to add the kind of cow shape here, coming into a back bend, but just really try and make sure, and you can circle the ankle in the other way, that the heel is pulling towards the butt. So you're working that hamstring. If it feels good, you can maybe release the ankle circles and add some neck circles here. Just gently taking the head through a half circle or maybe a full circle. Good. One more breath here. And we're just going to crawl forward once again, lowering our bellies down to the mat. Keep your left heel pulling to your bum. Just one more time. Take your fingertips wide of the mat. Lift up, lower your left shoulder down. Lift your right shoulder up so you can look over your right shoulder, maybe even catch a glimpse of your left toes. Then lower the left toes down as you sink your chest back down onto the mat. Lower your right shoulder down as you look over the left shoulder. Pull your right heel to your bum. Maybe even catch a glimpse of that right toe. And then put that on repeat, just kind of circling around, looking over one shoulder at the opposite foot. As you breathe, and maybe you find some little spots where you just want to pause and spend a little bit of time there, kind of adding a little wiggle, maybe a little movement through the rib cage, maybe just adjusting what your hands are doing so that you're kind of working into any little sticky spots. Good, and then lowering everything down. Reach your arms forward and roll over onto the left side of your body. Now you can just stay here, or if you want, maybe try lifting your arms and legs, just getting a little bit of a crunching action through the right side body. 2 more breaths. And then can you kind of move into a hollow body shape? So think low boat, bringing your arms and legs forward. Think cat pose through the spine. Lower everything down. Keep your arms and feet where they are. So as you roll onto your back, you come into a little side bend. Try and get your shoulders and hips down so the side bend is pure and without twisting. Take a nice deep breath into the right side body. Pause at the top, sip in a little bit more, and a bit more, and a bit more, and more, and more, and more, and more. And then exhale it out. Nice and slow. One more time like that. Big breath in, breathing into the right lung as much as possible. Fill the lung up entirely. Keep on sipping until it gets just a little bit uncomfortable. Good, and then soften to let it out. Roll back over onto your belly. Bring your hands under the shoulders and lift back up into your tabletop position. 3 breaths for a few cat-cows, or maybe those little spinal waves with the knees down, or whatever else you want to do. And then from your tabletop position, slide the right foot back with the toes tucked under, just like before. Press the heel back. So you're really opening up through the back of the ankle. And maybe press the toes a little bit more down into the floor. Or even lift the toes up away from the floor. And you might be wondering, what does this have to do with a back bend, with my hamstrings? But actually, the back of our ankles are kind of neurologically connected through all the tissues and the posterior chain, and because of how we walk and everything.
to your hamstrings. And so sometimes we can get a little bit of a loss of hamstring strength as well as mobility if our ankles are quite compressed. And because of the way that our shoes are designed, we often get a bit of compression at the back of the ankles. So hopefully now, as you lean forward and lift the right leg up, crawl the hands forward to lower your belly down, and you pull your right heel towards your bum, your hamstring is like really happy to do the work, to make this movement happen. So just like before, kind of get a relaxed position through the arms. Right arm can reach back towards the foot or ankle if you want, but just make sure that the hamstring is doing a little bit of work here. And then you're invited, just like before, bring the chin to the chest and then taking the left ear over towards the left shoulder. And think about that right hip opening up. So maybe that just means a little bit of adjustment of what your pelvis is doing, or the right leg. Just looking for length in the spine, especially the lumbar spine, with any extension happening from the hip rather than what's happening above the pelvis. Maybe pausing with the left ear over towards the left shoulder, just creating a bit of length through the right side of the neck. Good, and then slide the hands back. Left toe still tucked under so you can lift up into a single leg tabletop position, just like before. A few ankle circles here. And no worries if you're like, wait, I'm telling my ankle to circle, but it's not circling. I've been there. Just keep working at it, it'll come. And then just like before, you could add some little neck circles as well, maybe releasing the ankle circles. You're welcome to have a back bend. Just make sure that the right heel is still pulling towards the bum. And with this movement, we're just kind of getting into some nerves. Sometimes it's not about the muscles. We got to look after what the big nerves are doing as well. All right, then crawl yourself back forward onto your belly. An option to do the same little sort of twisting, single leg kicking cobra that we did, or if you want to, come into a sphinx pose, and we'll just kick our bum with one leg at a time. And you can stay there, or maybe as you kick, then you lift the knee up. Kick, lift the knee up. Or maybe you keep the knee lifted the whole time. Okay, so just a few different options for you. We're here for another 5 breaths or so. Always the option as well to pause and just breathe into anywhere that you feel a bit sticky. Paying attention to any joint that isn't really moving the way that you tell it to move as well. So working on the coordination and proprioception of the joint can be a nice thing to pay attention to as well. All right, we're gonna finish up wherever you are. Slide your hands forward, stretch nice and long, and then roll over onto your right side so you can just stay here and rest, or lift the legs up, lift the arms up. Try not to fall over like I just did. 2 more breaths. And then find that low boat shape, so just rounding the spine, pressing the arms and legs towards the edge of the mat. So as you roll over onto your back, you're in your banana shape. Try and get the left hip and the left shoulder down. And you're welcome to take a nice deep breath into the left side lungs this time. Pause at the top and keep on sipping until you're sure you absolutely cannot get any more air in, and then slowly let it out.
One more round like that. And slowly let it out. So this breathing technique can help us with our extension. So we'll roll back over onto our belly. And with your hands wide, maybe on fingertips, pull your heels both at the same time, this time to your bum. And you can stay here, maybe just lifting the head, the chest up as much as you can, or if it's comfortable with the hands flat, perhaps you start to straighten the elbows, but use your elbows staying bent to press your chest forward, pulling your hands towards your knees. I'm going to stay here for another 2 breaths. Breathing nice and deep in the inhale. And then exhale, just press everything back and sink down into a puppy pose. Try to have your chin down or working towards down. So instead of bringing the forehead down, try and look forward towards your hands and even press your chin forward. So we're looking for a nice stretch through the front of the neck. And if you can get your chin down, that might feel nice. And then here you're invited to just, again, try inhaling nice and full and deep with a nice passive exhale. One more time like that. Big inhale. Quick. Passive exhale. Good. Lift up so you can slide back forward. And again, pull both heels to your hips, keeping the spine long, letting the hamstrings do the work. And lifting your elbows as much as you want, going as deep into your back bend as you like. Pull your chin back and then take your head up and back. And think about pressing your chin away from your collarbones to lengthen to the front of your neck. Keep pulling your heels to your butt. Nice deep breath in. Flick your eyes all the way up towards your eyebrows. Passive exhale. One more like that. Big breath in. Eyes up to the eyebrows. Nice gentle exhale. Good. Lower back down. Tuck the toes under. And one more time in your puppy pose. And this time, a nice gentle breath in. And make your exhale quite sharp. 2 more like that. A gentle breath in. Look down towards your cheekbones as you exhale out. So just with the eyeballs, looking down to your cheekbones. One more time, a gentle breath in. And a sharp exhale out. Just helping to open up the shoulders, hopefully a little bit there with those breaths and eye movements. And one more time, slide forward, pull your heels to your hips. Lift up into a cobra variation of your choice for 3 more breaths. One more breath. And when you're ready, release that down and just press all the way back into your tabletop position, perhaps doing a few more little cat-cows just to rinse it all out, maybe a little bit of sideways movement of the rib cage. Coming back to that breath that allows you to hold on to the tension that you need and release any other tension. Remembering that there's power in softness. And maybe you'd like to take that soft power into this flow again and get the benefit of repetition. See how it feels doing it a second time, a third time even. Maybe you're ready to move to a different flow, or just taking this feeling of power through softness and surrender into the rest of your day.